And welcome back to Sports Check on this Monday morning, and it is the 21st day of November 2021. It's the second day of action in Qatar, and this is at the FIFA World Cup. It is the 22nd edition of the FIFA World Cup, and we already have one result where Qatar, lost to Ecuador by 2-0. We'll be going through some of the stories, that came up from that game, especially the numbers, because one of the things that FIFA has done is put out some very heavy data work into this tournament. And that group of people, at the end of the day, the analytics that are going to be done by the technical study group, those will be done basically by the football boss at FIFA, Arsene Wenger. Now, let's talk about that and the 3 matches that are going to be played today. John Agriotieno, he is a football data analyst. And John, last night, first of all, your overall take on the game, and especially from the perception point. Qatar are not just that easy side. They're formidable. They've been Asian champions. Yeah, they have been. But Ecuador came in. Yeah, they have and pulled off something. Champions in 2019. They have had, I think, around 11 friendlies before this. In fact, for the last 6 months, Qatar have actually suspended their league so they're able to prepare for this tournament. I would say the first half must have been underwhelming for all the preparations that has gone into it and all the money that has been thrown into it. And I'll take you back many years ago, the issue of the Aspire Academy, where I think 3/4 of those players who played yesterday did come from. But in the second half, they got into the game. 0 chances created, 0 shots on target, which I think is a first for a team, and the lowest since 1966, when there was 11 chances created in the opening game. But that said, I think the second half is where they grew into the game. They probably have to start looking for ways to get goals. But as it was yesterday, Ecuador had an easy way in the second half, just relaxed, didn't have to create too many chances because they did all the job in the first half. And one of the things that struck me when it comes down to the numbers is there's something known as attempted line breaks. Yes. This is where you try to breach the defensive lines. The defensive lines of your opponents. Yes. Ecuador did that 291 times. Absolutely. And you see, because that's a shocking start. It's a shocking start based that a game is over 90 minutes. It's also even further shocking because what Qatar was playing was a 5-3-2. The last time a team played a 5-3-2 at the World Cup was when Germany beat Saudi Arabia. Was it 8-0? Yes. Yes. So, I mean, for all that they put... Hey, that's ages ago. Yeah, it's ages ago. 2002, right. So, I mean, for all that defensive mindset going into it and to be breached so many times, number one, kudos to them for only conceding 2, because I think Enner Valencia should have had a hat-trick in the first half. But it also just shows you how much data and analytics is going into this World Cup. FIFA is saying at every stadium there's around 28 cameras watching the players and the ball. The ball has a special chip that is able to relay information to all these cameras, and that is why even the VR decisions are faster now. So, I mean, just based on that, you understand the magnitude of just data and analytics that is going into this game. And if this one shocked you, I think teams like Netherlands that hold the ball for even far much longer will be having crazy numbers. Well, now, here's something else that I would like to, talk about when it comes to how, this is happening. 7 offsides and Ecuador with a 4. And the kind of play that, trying to break that. You know what? The coach of Qatar, who was a good student of the La Masia system, drilled this team properly. Away from them conceding the 2 goals and not creating too many chances, I don't think they were really bad. That second half in itself, I would say, is a different game as compared to the first half. And so, just based on that, they would get a lot of strength and credit going forward, and in the hope that the next 2 games, which are not easy ones, I think Senegal and Netherlands, they would get a result. But that said, it doesn't go down well to be the first host team to have actually lost an opening game. No other team has ever done that. Well, and you can imagine that this is for about what exactly would what would I say? I would call it, 90 years of the FIFA World Cup.
Yeah, and even actually more, because, because these numbers have been chunked, from the start of the, when footage was first taken for the FIFA World Cup, all the way to the last World Cup in 2018. So it just shows you how much, I would say, the 6 months that Qatar have put into practice, all those years, that first half, they did not play to the occasion. Actually, they were scared of the occasion.
Well, talking about this, there is something that you would have to feel that's going to come up here, especially with teams that are full of these elite players.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone who's at the World Cup consider themselves an elite player.
Yeah.
But then kind of, passes that are being made. I'm just picking up the stats from last night's game.
Yeah.
930 passes in the game.
Yeah.
480 of them by Ecuador. Completed passes, 790. 409 by Ecuador. That means of the passes that they made, it's just about what, 1/7 of them. Only 1 out of 7 passes
were wrong.
Did not.
The central defender must have been a 20-year-old who plays at Bayern Leverkusen. He actually attempted 27 passes, 26 actually got to the recipient. And the one that did not get to the recipient was actually, it went off. It went off the pitch. So that just shows you how much, not just them looking at the numbers coming to the tournament, but even during the tournament, trying to just explore and be better. Again, remember, Ecuador is the youngest team of the South American teams that have come to the tournament, and actually the youngest ever team from South America to have come to this tournament. They have played around 15 games, won around 11 of those coming into the tournament, and they say that the backbone of how they play is the players at the back being able to complete their passes. You could see what happened at the front. Of course, Enner Valencia has all the experience. He's the only player in that team to have ever played a World Cup. The rest, everyone else is new.
Wow. Yeah. Well, quite interesting. And we're talking about young squads. We'll be talking about 2 of the youngest squads at the World Cup, and they will be playing at 10 p.m. But overall, taking a look at this group, let's first touch on the encounter between Senegal and the Netherlands. 7 p.m., KBC Channel 1. Look out for it on Signet. So let's first of all talk about, the Sadio Mane factor, the fact that he had to go for surgery.
Well, I think Senegal really tried to push their luck and hoped that he would come back on time. Remember, he had to go to Austria, I think, for a small surgery, they say, and had to include him in the team with the hope that probably he would miss the first 2 games and would be available for the last game. Unfortunately, the first games against the Netherlands, even more unfortunate is that Sadio Mane is not going to be there. While he's drafted into the team, and you will probably see him in the bench at some point, the truth of the matter is now other players now have to step up. Now, while their play is always based around him, and it has gotten them reasonable success, they're actually the reason Egypt is not at this tournament. They now have to think otherwise.
Now, let's just give us your thoughts about on the squad that Ali Cisse has taken and what to look out for. And, some of the players who will stand out for them.
I would say the goalkeeper. Remember, this team has not conceded above 3 goals in the last 3 years. The highest that they've ever conceded is 2 goals. And it's because of that goalkeeper at the back. He's Chelsea's #1. I think he's